All right. All right, we're here with Stanford forward Reed Travis right after day one of practice. So let's just get right to it. How was day one?
It was good. It was good. It was a lot of energy. I think that's one thing Coach wanted to preach to us, is that all the X's and O's, kind of the technical stuff, that's going to come as the weeks kind of go through the season. But as far as effort and energy, that's one thing that we shouldn't be lacking in that area. So it's a good 2 hours of just going hard, just getting after it, kind of just putting some things in place. But the energy was definitely there.
Coach just talked about, just talking to Dorian right now, he said, you know, we haven't been to a tournament for 2 straight years, and that affected our mindset in the spring and the summer and now going into practice. If you could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, myself, the seniors, we haven't tasted the postseason that we want to play in, which is the NCAA tournament. Of course, we've been to the NIT and stuff like that. But as far as going to the tournament, that's why we came here. That's kind of why we sweat hard, why we do our thing in the summer. In the off season is to play in the tournament. So we're definitely disappointed, but I think we just have a big chip on our shoulder just talking the off season with each other, is that we can't let this be the year where we let it slip away and we look back at what could have been. We wish we would have had that experience, that opportunity. So the mindset of myself, and we're kind of relaying that to the rest of our team, is that you got to put everything you got in so that we can be playing in the postseason at the end of the year. So
who was the newcomer of the day?
The newcomer of the day, that's tough. That's tough to single one guy out. I will say Isaac White, he definitely came with a lot of energy. I mean, I wouldn't say play-wise, like it's tough to say who played better, who did that, but as far as just talking, communication, he has the communication of a senior or upperclassman, just the way that he steps on the court. He has a presence when he's on defense, and that's what we'll need. So just from that simple aspect of it, that he came in from day one just kind of ready to talk, communicate, and take on that role, I'd have to give him that for today.
And in terms of the development of your own game, you know, coming in as someone who is really tough to stop near the basket, now improving your skill further and further away from the basket, if you could talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious I can score down low. I feel like I'm one of the more dominant guys in the conference as far as pulling my way to the basket and kind of doing jump hooks and stuff like that in the paint. But as far as stretching it out to the perimeter, I think that's going to just help our team even more and help me be more effective. I mean, people can't send a double team down low, and I don't have to battle, get in foul trouble, stuff like that. So if I can add a 2-3 dribble attack to the basket, or add a jump shot and add even a 3, I think that's just going to help us be more successful this year.
And how do you want to get better as a rebounder or a defender, or how do you do that this year?
Defense is a big thing. I mean, I sat down last spring and kind of scouted myself in a sense and figured out what I needed to work on, some things that I didn't like in my game. Definitely switching on ball screens, as I told the coaches, I want to be a guy that can switch on to a guard and not be a liability, that they could trust me with that. So I think it's just in practice. I mean, I don't think there's any special recipe than just going out in practice. We have some talented guards. Take every opportunity I can to try and guard them and move my feet and not foul. I think it's just being conscious of that's what I want to do, and just work on that throughout the off season. In this preseason, it should pay off when the year starts.
You could talk about naming the captainship after Peter Sauer and what you guys have taken away from the people who have talked to you about what he meant to that Final Four team. It
meant a lot. I mean, I'm a big fan of it being named after somebody. I think that gives more honor to it, more prestige, that we can actually carry on someone's honor, someone's tradition. But everyone we talked to from that Final Four team, they say he wasn't the most talented guy. It wasn't about how many points he scored or minutes he played, but it was who was the loudest, who was picking guys up, who did embody everything that leadership had to go along with that. So I think it's fitting that they decided to honor him with the Peter Sauer Captainship Award. And it makes it that much more special for us to know that every time we step on the court, there's an expectation that that's something Peter used to do, that we need to carry on that tradition and kind of just carry the torch with that sense.
He also played on a bum leg that game too against Kentucky, so so he was remarkable in that sense too. Talk a little bit about the preseason schedule and what that might mean as your hopes are for the NCAA and for the Pac-12.
Well, it means a lot. I mean, I think the staff did a great job putting us in a position to play high-level teams, which that's one thing I got to admire, is that we're not hiding from anybody. I mean, we want to play the best teams in the country. We want to show that we are one of those teams, and I think it's set up perfectly for us to kind of prove ourselves and show that we're an NCAA tournament team. And I like that. There's no questions about maybe your schedule isn't strong enough. Well, it is this year. So as long as we take care of business and do what we need to do, we should put ourselves in a nice position for that.
Has Thanksgiving week been a topic of conversation amongst the players?
Yeah, we're very excited. I mean, the Thanksgiving tournament's always a big one. Families come out. It's usually at a great venue with a lot of good teams, and especially who we get to match up with. Got Florida the first game, just the PK80 being the first deal. So we're very excited for that. I think it's a great place for us to kind of showcase all the work we've done this off season. So excited to see how it goes.
All right.
Awesome.